If you want to see what's new in 3.10 planet optimization, why skip here? Planet optimization isn't too difficult. You have planet destinations, which are mostly are self-explanatory. Mining worlds for mining, generators for energy, aggregates for food, urban for trade, although if you are making a refinery, stronghold, or unifications, that's ecclesiastic center. And if you're going to go ahead and build a bunch of city districts anyway, you can use urban to speed it up. Industrial world gives less upkeep and an even split of jobs, mineralogists, and artisan alloys and consumer goods respectively. You can have a world temporarily be industrial in the early game, but you want to have a dedicated forge and factory world. It doesn't produce production in and by itself. It makes it so it's only one of either mineralogists or artisans, but it does have a 20% less upkeep, which can easily be a 40 to 100 plus mineral upkeep difference into the late game. Also, when getting your upgraded buildings that make your artisans and mineralogists produce more, it is more efficient. You can switch your destinations whenever. It does not cost anything or have some development time, so you can switch it to industrial if you need for whatever reason, or maybe switch everything to forge temporarily pump out alloys because you have a good stockpile of consumer goods. A reward is alright once you have a nice spread of stuff, but I never just build one outright, only when I kinda had a mid-small planet, but I needed to have a general mining world and already used all the associated districts. Then I started to build other ones and got some pops working them. Tech worlds are not the best. Less upkeep on researchers is nice, but you should keep them on your capital, which gives a plus 10 to all resources, which includes research. Now, if you do have a bunch of worlds, you probably have a pretty big empire source, which then you probably want to have more research, so you can get a tech world. You're also going to want a refinery world. You can build them on whatever extra slots you have on your planets, but just having a solid production of exotic resources is really useful once you get stuff that needs like your upgraded buildings, which start to consume quite a lot. Stronghold itself doesn't really do anything to optimize the planet, but we'll want those worlds like refining worlds. It can be whatever tiny planet wants since all they need is slots. For any extra slots in planets that don't really have anything else, it's pretty good to either do refinery or strongholds for the extra naval capacity and defense army so it's hard to invade. For your capital, keep it base since this is where your research should be, but you could do forge to do a more aggressive early game, but I don't recommend it. Habitats are basically the same, although you can do research as well since they actually give research boosts. Stability is a level factor. Each point above 50 gives plus 6 to resource and trade value, which 100 is 30%. Under 50, it's negative 1 to resources and trade value. It's either given directly from various sources and proper approval / happiness. It can be affected by things like housing, crime, unemployment, and amenities, but it's really just, oh, amenities are in the red, just give them more. Unemployment, make jobs or reserve them or make more houses. Crime can be caused due to various things and made worse if the other are in the red, with enforcers and other crime reducing jobs as well as people being at least somewhat happy. It won't really be an issue. For power approval, it's a happiness of the powers which come both from, well, if they do belong to a faction, how much is that faction's approval? You can see the faction's wants here. It's typically the best to fulfill the faction's wants as much as possible. It also comes from the happiness of the environment as aforementioned stuff of housing, crime, jobs, amenities, although mostly amenities. Living standards, which you can see here in the species tab on the right or lack thereof, you can see political power if stratum, which modifies how much the public opinion matters to stability. So if it's something like stratified economy, most of the power in the ruling class and very little military, no good working class, so it's easier to have high stability because you need to please less people. The resource giving traits from galactic paragons instead of giving a flat amount now gets a percentage boost to that resource, as well as giving more jobs for that resource if it's a home planet, which actually helps if playing tall since there'd be a smaller selection of planets giving a better chance to match. Leaders have changed. I won't go through the full changes, but there are 3 leader classes now which can all govern. Scientist gives more research, and a specialization, which is also part of galactic paragons, gives more research as well. I will put them on a capital since this should be what all your research is. Official gives more resources only, actual resources and not your research and unit. I like to put them on Forge or Faculty, where since a specialization gives more specialist resource output as well as less pop menu usage. Commander gives less output from ruler and specialist possible, more from workers and slaves, less crime, and gives total jobs. The specialization gives stability per sort of job. I put them on a basic resource planet, great for those mid planets I mentioned earlier because you can actually make them to like have strongholds and still make resource benefit from stability from solar drops. They'll do make sure to deprioritize the solar drops when you don't need them because even if you favor something else, they usually like to try to fill that one. Also keep in mind the base effect scale of level. I'm not sure why it doesn't show the effects that it currently has, and the effects of that leader is only on full effect of the planet they are on. It is halved on other planets if they have a second governor, but it's overridden if that planet had its own.